The story you're about to see is already prompting the state of Michigan to bring in its own investigation into the town's police department. Watchdog David Bailey joins us now to explain what he found after months of investigating.
Good evening, Nick and Val. There are very strict guidelines the state has when it comes to certifying police officers. Some pass through the process to get certified, others don't. So imagine the anger that might result when somebody who isn't certified is allowed to enforce the law. Blood pressure sky high.
The girls are like, "Mom, there's a cop behind us. We're gonna get pulled over."
A rush of embarrassment.
Pulled up right behind me, kind of a little cockeyed, and got right out.
Tracy Rook knew exactly why he was there.
Come up to the window and said, "Ma'am, you were speeding."
Speeding through a school zone on a Sunday in Grant, a town of 850 with 8 part-time officers.
So I did what I was supposed to do.
She gave Grant Police Lieutenant Jim Fergale her information, got a $120 ticket from him, and took off. Rook was one of 3 drivers Fergale stopped that Sunday. One of 144 drivers records show Lieutenant Fergale stopped for speeding the past 18 months. Grant City Manager loves Fergale's work.
He takes a lot more time out of his life to be up here than what his paycheck would say.
Fergale's chief, Bob Mendham, says he does a great job going out by himself to do traffic enforcement.
I think Jim does a fantastic job. He puts in more hours than he gets paid for.
Fergale's not only doing code and speed enforcement, we found he's also the city's neighborhood watch liaison officer. Everything you see about Lieutenant Fergale just screams police officer. His business card, his uniform and car, gun and badge, the tickets he writes. But in this 13 watchdog investigation, we found Officer Fergale is not Police Officer Fergale.
Holy crap, I've been bamboozled. Wow.
We told Rook that she was given a speeding ticket by Reserve Officer Fergale, a man who has not been certified by the state to be a police officer.
Do you feel fooled?
Well, I'm kind of that someone was actually able to go out and make a traffic stop.
So why would Lieutenant Fergale be thrown into the fire on traffic stops when he hasn't received training to be state certified?
At the same time, the way he was operating was still within the confines of the law.
Are you sure about that?
When I first got here, I had spoke with the chief, and they have had opinions written from the attorney they had previously.
Are you sure that attorney was right?
That's what we're doing now. We've
So you're not sure?
We are working with an attorney right now to make sure that we are in compliance with Michigan law and also with federal law when it comes to this situation.
We turn to M. Coles in Lansing, the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards, the state certification agency for police officers to define what a reserve officer can do.
We would not approve them being out there.
M. Coles Director David Harvey.
Reserve officers who are not trained, licensed M. Coles police officers and have not been sworn by an agency and given full authority as a police officer in a jurisdiction are essentially just a citizen.
Just a citizen handing out speeding tickets when the Michigan Municipal League recently advised all cities to have reserve officers under direct supervision of a police officer?
It wouldn't appear on the surface that what they're doing would certainly would not meet our guidelines. If they're doing enforcement action,
they don't think they can win.
Ed Sternisha has 2 unique views on this story. He's a defense attorney and a reserve officer at a department here in the area. Sternisha says he would never have the power to be able to do speeding tickets.
I have no more police powers than my children do. I can tell you as a defense attorney, I would love to have this.
Sternisha feels there's great risk having a non-certified officer doing traffic enforcement.
What if one of these traffic stops resulted in the reserve officer finding a trunk load of cocaine? That's the drug dealer they've been looking for. Well, now the entire case is in jeopardy.
Chief Mendham doesn't buy into that and says Lieutenant Fergale has the power to write speeding tickets under city ordinance because he's already doing similar work in code enforcement.
He has to be trained to use that radar unit that he is using, and he has been through the class. He is certified to operate a radar.
Others in law enforcement worry Fergale could actually be putting himself in danger.
What happens if that person runs from him?
He would have to stop at the city limits and call.
But I mean, what if it's in the city limits? Would he chase them?
No.
So he would not chase them?
No.
So a person could be pulled over in theory and run away from him.
Yes, they could.
Complicating the situation is a 2015 Michigan court ruling that allows people to resist a reserve police officer.
How is that right? I mean, how's that fair to the public, frankly? I mean, that you have a guy who can't do his job fully.
Well, he can't. He is doing his job.
But you're saying he can't chase.
No, but there's
But what if this guy is wanted? I mean, what if he's a murder suspect? So, and you guys know it.
Think of it this way, though. If he's just making a traffic stop for speed, if he wasn't there, the vehicle would never have been stopped.
The 13 watchdog team kept digging in this situation and found several instances of Forgale writing traffic tickets under state law, not local ordinance.
How can the people in Grant know that the person that is pulling them over is a certified police officer? I mean, don't they deserve that?
No, and they're getting it.
They're not getting it. I mean, this guy's not a real police officer.
No, and we.
I mean, he's not certified. So, I mean, how can you ensure that people here in the city will be protected and will know that the guy that's pulling them over is real?
That, like I said earlier, we are working with our attorney to come into compliance to make sure that this department and the taxpayers are protected.
MCOL's Director Harvey says in light of this 13 watchdog investigation, he will now be investigating to see if Grant's police department violated the Commission on Law Enforcement Standards Act. Left in the middle are all the people who got tickets from Forgale.
Would they have a case? I think that they very well may. And it's not just getting their money back. We're talking about points added to their driving record. We're talking about increased insurance rates. How are you going to get that back?
Get a good lawyer and at least get our money back and get our names cleared.
Get our names cleared. Well, Lieutenant Forgale didn't comment for the story. The two city leaders in Grant told us in light of our investigation, they have now stopped allowing Forgale to write speeding tickets. And guys, we know for sure the state is going to come in and investigate this fully.